What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Tammy Talks here. The Ultimatum, Season 2, Episode 8. Time to answer the ultimatum. Let's get started, y'all. So it starts off with Ryan and James. So they're meeting up with James's mom. And in this scene that I already knew about because y'all spoiled in the comments, we find out that James's dream job was to work for NASA or like SpaceX, right? So James's mother comes and she's asking them how things have been going. James is like, we had a very small argument, a quick one, but we got over it rather quickly. And I'm like, a 2-hour argument doesn't seem like a small one. A 2-hour argument where you have all these, we find out, you're telling her that her tapping her nails is triggering you and all this kind of stuff. That's not exactly a small argument to me, at least. So the reason that James has not gone to work at NASA or SpaceX is because Ryan doesn't want to leave her family. So here, this is a tough situation because, I mean, can you exactly expect somebody to want to uproot their life and move to a different city, a different state, away from the life that they know if they're not engaged, if you have no plan on marrying her, if you're not talking about marriage? So I can understand Ryan from that aspect, but at the same time, you can't say that he complains about finances, and finances is a big part of why he doesn't want to get married yet, when you literally have kept him from making the kind of money that he wants to make. So James now feels that, you know what, I don't have to work at these places. I can work here at like an engineering firm. I can work here at an engineering firm and still, get the same whatever that I want to get from working with planes and all that type of stuff. So his mom was like, money is just not as important to you as it is to me. And his mom was basically like, when I was out working and driving and you were a kid, I didn't ask you where you wanted to go or where you wanted to live. I went where the money was. And I kind of feel like James and his mom might need like some therapy as well. Cause I don't want to say she seemed like cold, but she had like a coldness to her. A coldness to her. So James still doesn't have a definitive answer on if he is going to propose or not. And I thought that was interesting because it's almost like, and I get it's probably for dramatic effect, but they keep saying that they fully understand what the ultimatum is about and what it's for and the purpose of it, and we know what's coming, but you'll still say, I still don't know what I'm going to do. It, I think James is weird. James has some deep rooted issues that he needs to get taken care of first. And I kind of feel like after he revealed the stuff that he did to Ryan, like the day before, I'm surprised that she's not suggesting, well, maybe you do need to take some time to yourself. Maybe you do need to take some time to yourself to get things together before we, fully mesh and merge our lives. So we get Raya and Tyler. So they're out on a date. Why I call that man Tyler? Ryan and Trey are out on a date, and she wants to let him know that she is not holding anything against him. Not holding anything against him, but her feelings are hurt. So I've seen y'all put in the comments that she doesn't like him and she was ready to, to sleep with Brian right away. Where are y'all getting that from? I think it's interesting that she is the only person that y'all are saying that about. She is the only person that y'all are saying on the first episode she was ready to, lay it low and spread it wide for Brian. But I feel like Trey was making more googly eyes at Lisa after seeing how Lisa disrespected Raya. I find that interesting. I don't think that Raya came into this process. I don't think she came into this process to specifically break up with him or anything like that. I think she came into this process to learn more about herself and to see how a relationship will look outside of him, because we find out in this conversation that he admits and he realizes that some of the stuff that he does comes off as controlling. So he wants to know if they will be able to move forward and talk about their issues. She doesn't seem like she's the easiest to talk to, and it's because she said that she shuts down. But she's like, let's do it. Trey feels that when he plans their lives, he thinks about them as the future. I mean, he thinks about them as a couple. So when he's thinking about the future, everything is more so about a couple, kind of insinuating that she's thinking more so about herself when she thinks about the future. And she said that she's still trying to figure that out for herself. So, yes, a part of her thinks about them as a couple, but I think she wants to figure out things for herself before she can figure out things for them as a couple. I think that makes sense, personally. So, she wants to make sure that while they are within this relationship, she is still able to do the things that she wants to do, her dreams, her goals, her bullet points she wants to check off, and not just the things that he wants her to do. So he then points out that, he isn't being controlling. He just wants to plan a better life. And she said, that's fine, but you don't include me in those plans. Like, so basically, Trey is telling her, this is how I think our life is going to be better. I want us to do this, that, and the third. And that's how we get our life to be better. She doesn't know what this and that are, so she's resisting. That's what I took from that. He acknowledges that he isn't as patient as he could be. So while she's trying to get to these steps to figure out her life and figure out her goals and figure out her career, while she's trying to get to these steps, because he has been there and done that, because he's older and more established, he tries to get her to skip over different steps. And she feels that, oh my God, my nose is just, she feels that him wanting her to skip over different steps, that it, oh my God, my nose gives me allergies. He's trying to get her to skip over different steps, and in that, she feels like she's being rushed in her process, something that he didn't have to go through. He was able to figure out his life and do things on his terms. He's not allowing her to do that. So she says, in turn, it makes her feel like she isn't good enough. And he acknowledges that and says, you know what, I could be a little more patient. I get that. I don't want to make you feel as if you aren't good enough. They're just not right for each other. They're just not right for each other. Nothing terrible. They're just not right for each other. So we have Roxanne and Antonio. So again, in the comments, some of y'all are saying that she shouldn't want him to be a provider when she pegs herself as independent. That doesn't make sense, y'all. I am independent, right? I pay my own bills. I have my own job. I have my own car. I have my own place. I have my own everything. I am independent. That does not mean that the person that I date, that the man that I get with, that I wouldn't want to date somebody that is a provider. Why wouldn't you wanting to date somebody that is a provider doesn't mean that you want somebody to take care of you. And I think that's what some of y'all are missing. That doesn't mean that, if I start dating a man today that is a provider, that doesn't mean that I want him to pay all my bills and take care of every single thing. That's not what that means. Why wouldn't you want to date somebody that is a provider or that can be a provider? Her issue with him is finances. So they're meeting up with her parents, and she said that she's having a hard time trusting him on his next phase of life. So apparently he's going to be an entrepreneur. I still stand by what I said. He said that he's getting to the point where he's going to be able to take care and provide for everything. Businesses fail in the first year. A lot of businesses fail. You don't come into this just making money right away. It's also a lot of y'all being like, she just sells nipple pasties. It's still a business, y'all. Why does her business matter? I don't even like Roxanne. I think she's a terrible woman. I think she's rude. I think she's mean. But I think she's condescending. But why, are certain businesses better than others? I don't get that. It's so many people. She just sells nipple pasting. So what? It's a business. She says she's an entrepreneur. She has a business. I don't understand. I don't understand the anger towards her job. or towards whatever her business is. So her father said that the biggest thing that is different between Alex and Antonio, the one thing that sets them apart is a job. It's a job. So he said that, she's been turning down gifts and different things from other men, and if she is doing that and sticking with you, basically saying sticking with your broke ass, what are you tripping about? So Roxanne mentions that she does not ever tell him that she doesn't say I love you. And her dad was like, yeah, that would bother me too. That would bother me too. So what Antonio's issue is he feels that Roxanne is looking over his shoulder as he works. Antonio wants Roxanne to trust him to just do what he's supposed to, but you haven't proven yourself to be trustworthy though, Antonio. That's the thing. That's the thing. Should she be looking over your shoulder to make sure that you're running your business correctly? Probably not. But you're also the same guy that up until now has not proven yourself to be able to not only take care of the household if something were to happen and she could no longer work, or she lost her job, or she lost her business, or whatever the case, but you just have a very apathetic, insecure position about yourself as well. So I don't think they need to be together at all. Alex and Kat. So Alex's parents come over. This entire scene was kind of unnecessary. But because we're talking about the same thing every single time, just in different ways. So he appreciates how easy Kat is to be around. Said Roxanne was awful to be around. So she said that he's becoming more emotional. He's learning how to be more vulnerable. Um, Kat thinks that they balance each other out. Alex's mom, who I kind of feel like does not like Kat, is like, well, Roxanne challenges him more. He's the one who's going to challenge him. And Alex is like, no, Kat challenges me, but it's in a different way. It's more of a calm, collected challenge. It's not a very like abrasive in your face challenge. And I think I'm past the abrasive in your face challenge. I'm past that point in life at this point. And that's all we got from that scene. Still doesn't know what he wants to do. Ryan and James, they're out, I guess, for dinner. Like they're at like a little restaurant bar. She asks him if they leave engaged, is he truly ready for the next step with her? He said that he is ready to start a life with her and start a family. He thinks that they should move in together. She said, absolutely not. Because if we move in together, I think that you are going to procrastinate that wedding, because it's always going to be, well, let's get a bigger house. Well, let's do this. Well, let's do that. And I'm glad she clocked that. I'm glad she clocked that. Very glad she clocked that. Y'all weren't living together before, so why would we all of a sudden start living together now after this? So he gets offended and says that he does not procrastinate. And she was like, you've procrastinated the entire relationship. And that's what I was thinking. He said that he doesn't procrastinate when it comes to other people. He procrastinates when it comes to himself. So him prolonging the engagement and wanting to propose to her is him procrastinating about himself, because it's self-discovery. I said, James, you gaslighting it. Don't gaslight this girl right now. She has grown. You can tell that Ryan is like kind of standing up for herself more, because he gets so taken aback by some of the stuff that she says. So he then goes on to say, we could have been lived together, when my entire research team, when I was doing all that type of stuff. He mentions going back to grad school. She doesn't seem keen on it. Honestly, I wonder if Ryan just wants to be just a little, maybe she doesn't want to like have all this money. Some people are just very content with having what they need, maybe a little bit more. And I feel like she might be that way, because like now she seemed kind of apprehensive about him wanting to go back to grad school to get a better job. So he tells her that she's just, we've had this conversation already. And she said, why is it okay for you to get the validation that you need? But when I want the validation that I want, now it's the issue. Why is that? He gets defensive. He said, because I'm not a procrastinator. I'm not a procrastinator. And she was like, okay, so now she don't want to talk anymore. They, I want to say it's majority James, but I think the fact that there is some resentment from him against Ryann because he doesn't feel like he was able to go and live the life that he or get the job that he wanted. There is some resentment. And I think the moment that he starts to really acknowledge that and tell her that, they might get a little further on, but there's definitely resentment to the fact that you feel that you feel that she kept you from something. Whether you're going to admit it or not, you feel that she kept you from a job. You do. You absolutely do. So Raya and Trey, so they are back talking about living in the city. They finally say that the city is Atlanta in this episode when I feel like they could have been said that and things would make more sense. She wants to move to Atlanta, he does not. So she said that there is no resolution. She doesn't want to keep going back and forth about this. She doesn't want to she doesn't want him to have to compromise because he's not going to be happy. They can't be the best that they are if he's living somewhere he doesn't want to live. So she does not see how it is going to work. So she said that if the roles were reversed, she would move wherever he wanted to. If he wanted to move to Alaska, she would be willing to do that. So he then said that, you know what, I just don't want to move to Atlanta. I just don't want to move there. And then he said one, because he doesn't want to be away from his immediate family. And I think he just doesn't want to live in Atlanta. So he then says that initially she didn't have a plan. I guess she now has a plan there. I don't know if she's trying to go to school there or she wants to. I don't know what her plan is there because they don't exactly tell us. But this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And I think the fact that I thought they were like in the suburbs and wanting to move down to. Are they in South Carolina or North Carolina? Let's say they're in North Carolina. So I thought they were in the suburbs of Charlotte, she wants to just live deeper in the city. She wants to move to a whole different fucking state. It's not going to work. I don't even know why Trey would say, I'll go and get the house and stuff for us, and you can go down there and live for a year. I also don't think that she's using him to take care of her. I don't see that in their relationship. I don't. Like, she keeps saying that I don't want you to take care of me. She keeps saying, like, she's blatantly saying that. I think it was verbatim. And he, meanwhile, keeps saying, I can take care of all this stuff for us. So I don't know if y'all are missing that part or ignoring it, but I don't get the vibe from her that she wants him to take care of her. I don't get that, at least. She feels that she has grown and she wonders if she has grown past him. She speaks up for herself more now. And I think because it was so awful living with James, that now she's gotten to a point where she found like she's a little more stronger in her voice. Maybe during all that time when he wasn't talking to her, she was able to come up with a plan on what she wants to really do in life. I just don't think they need to be together. So Roxanne and Antonio, he said that he's been having horrendous dreams. And she said, why? Girl, why do you think? She still doesn't know what she wants to do. She asked him, what would it be like being married to him? Y'all live together already, but he said that he would be a champion for her. He's going to root for her, support her, be her biggest cheerleader. She blatantly says back, I don't know if I will be able to do that. He said he doesn't expect that. Why do you like her? Why do you like her? Why do you want to be married to her? So he asks why she asked why she thinks she would be a good wife. Or he asked why did she think she would be a good wife, and she said because she would always put him first and would be thoughtful. Okay. Okay. So we get to ultimatum day. The first couple up is Raya and Trey. It sounds like he's getting ready to say. Sounds like he's getting ready to say, I love you, but this isn't gonna work. And that's what I think he should say. That's what I think he should say. Nonetheless, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Y'all talked about it already in the recap for the last episodes. But if you have not already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video. Tomorrow is the finale and the reunion. I'm going to have to just stay up till midnight so I can watch it so y'all don't come spoil it in the comments. But both those recaps will be up. Those videos will be up at some point tomorrow. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.